Joshua and the elders tore their clothes and sprinkled dust on the head as a sign of deep mourning before God. They were confused by their defeat at the small city of Ai after the spectacular Jericho victory. So they went before God in deep humility and sorrow to receive His instructions. When our lives fall apart, we also should turn to God for direction and help. Like Joshua and the elders, we should humble ourselves so that we will be able to hear His words. And there's going to be periods of time in your life when you have great victory, and periods of time where you lose some small battles. And in those times, you should go to the Lord in prayer to see His feet, receive instructions. When Joshua first went against Ai, he did not consult God, but relied on the strength of his army to defeat a small city. Only after Israel was defeated did they turn to God and ask what happened. Too often we rely on our own skills and strength, especially when the task before us seems easy. We go to God only when the obstacles seem too great. However, only God knows what lies ahead. Consulting Him, even when we are on a winning streak, may save us from great mistakes or misjudgments. God may want us to learn lessons, remove pride, or consult others before He will work through us. Imagine praying this way. This is not a formal church prayer. It is a prayer of a man who is afraid and confused by what's happening around him. Joshua poured out his real thoughts to God. Hiding your needs from God is ignoring the only one who can really help you. God welcomes your honest prayer and wants you to express your true feelings to Him. Any believer can become more honest in prayer by remembering that God is all-knowing and all-powerful, and that His love is everlasting. And so when you have those small defeats in your life, even the little things that seem like you can accomplish and you seem to fail and get defeated, big or small, pour out yourself to God in prayer and be honest and talk to Him. To Him as someone who cares and loves you and has the answers, wisdom, the knowledge, whatever it may be that you need in order to have victory. In fact, when when they suffered that defeat, they went into prayer. God pointed out to them what the problem was. It was because of someone was sinned and was holding back something, and God said, that's what the problem is. Here's what you need to do. You need to eliminate and get rid of it. And God will do the same if you listen to His still, small voice, being quiet in the Spirit. Why did Achan's sin bring judgment on the entire nation? Although it was one man's failure, God saw it as national disobedience to the national law. God needed the entire nation to be committed to the to the job they had agreed to do, conquering the land. Thus, when one person fails, everyone fails. That Chin's sin went unpunished. Unlimited looting could break out. The nation as a whole had to take the responsibility preventing this undisciplined disobedience. Chin's sin was not merely his keeping some of the plunder God allowed in some cases, but his disobeying God's explicit command to destroy everything connected with Jericho. His sin was indifference to evil and idolatry of the city, not just as a desire for money and clothes. God would not protect Israel's army again until the sin was removed and the army returned to obeying him without reservation. God is not content with our doing what is right some of the time. He wants us to do what is right all the time. We are under his orders to eliminate any thought, practice, or profession that hinders our devotion to him. Discipline needs to be, discipline needs to be, sin needs to be removed, discipline needs to be maintained. Not only corporately, but publicly. When you disobey, even disobey God's moral law or civil law. Sin's got to be dealt with. Discipline's got to be maintained. Not only in the congregation, but your private life, your personal life, and your corporate life. You're not always going to hit the mark. Most of the time you're not going to hit the mark. And when you sin, you mess up, there's forgiveness. When you repent. Consecrate yourself means that the Israelites were to undergo purification rites like those mentioned in Joshua chapter 3 verse 5 when they were prepared to cross the Jordan River. Such rites prepared the people to approach God and constantly reminded them of their sinfulness and his holiness. And we need to be reminded of our sinfulness and God's holiness, that we are positionally in the right standing, positionally justified, positionally sanctified, but our actions are not there yet, and that God is holy and righteous. Following God and doing his way, doing his will, the fear of God will accompany you, especially preachers. God will put fear in the congregation so that the people of the church will reverence the preacher. I mean, in the sense of awe. And the same thing will happen in your walk with the Lord. There will be some reverence and awe, and people will see that. Alright. Joshua chapter 7, verses 14 through 26. In the morning you must present yourself by tribes, and the Lord will point out the tribe to which the guilty man belongs. That tribe must come forward with its clans, and the Lord will point out the guilty clan. That clan will then come forward, and the Lord will point out the guilty family. Finally, each member of the guilty family must come forward one by one. The one who has stolen what was set apart for destruction will himself be burned with fire along with everything he has. For he has broken the covenant the Lord has done. For he has broken the covenant of the Lord and has done a horrible thing. Early in the morning, early next day, or early the next morning, Joshua brought the tribe of Israel before the Lord, and the tribe of Judah was singled out. Then the clan of Judah came forward, and the clan of